All right, good day. This transmission has been titled Persistence of Vision. We are exploring the idea of the difference between insistence and persistence. Generally speaking, just to give an overview, insistence is usually something based on negative belief systems, fear-based belief systems, whereas persistence is the continued focus, continued willingness to act on your passion. It is more of a positive idea of sticking with something you know is true for you. Now, of course, we are not saying that you can't use the word insistence casually, but like every definition we have discussed, it's important to understand the difference between using something casually and knowing what is really meant by its use, or really falling into the habit of insisting on things which are not necessarily representative of your path. So we understand that when someone on your planet says, "Oh, please allow me to pay for this," and someone says, "Oh, no," and then the first person says, "Oh, I insist," we understand that that's not what we're discussing here. That's simply a casual use of the idea of, "Please allow me to do this favor for you. Please allow me to give you this gift." And that, in that context, is what "I insist" means. We are talking about the idea of forcing your will upon circumstances in a direction that may not necessarily be representative of your true vibration, of your true path, of your passion and excitement. So the idea of insistence, as we have said, is resistance, because you are not necessarily going with the flow that is created and generated by acting on your passion. It is something that your ego believes is necessary or wants to be necessary. And insisting on something is resistance, because you are not necessarily allowing what really needs to happen to manifest in your life, but insisting that if certain things don't happen in a certain way, then something has gone wrong. It is a self-judging, self-depreciating, and self-invalidating idea to be insistent when allowing the flow to bring you what it is that's necessary at any given moment will create an ability to use synchronicity in a positive way, manifesting what it is you truly need at that moment to explore, understanding that the process is the point, that the journey is the destination, without focusing too much on the idea of a goal, a completion that you think is necessary. So insistence, resistance in that sense, because insistence is not allowing the flow of energy, the flow of high frequencies through your neurological system of your body. It is a tightening, a clamping down, a forcing of a situation which constricts your neurological net, your nervous system in your body, and doesn't allow for the free flow of energy that represents a more high frequency of your passion. And so as that resistance builds up, as more insistence is heaped upon your body, it creates breakdowns, stress, dis-ease, so on and so forth. So it's about relaxing your grip on what your ego thinks should happen, and being willing to allow what really needs to happen to come from your higher mind to present you with what is necessary for you to consider, what is necessary for you to explore, what is necessary for you to investigate and respond to in a positive way in the next moment. And as we have said, even if what manifests next is something you objectively don't prefer, something that you recognize is simply not vibrationally compatible with your core frequency and of who you are, it's still there for a reason. And if you allow yourself to know it's there for a reason, then you can relax and say, all right, show me what I need to know. You can use it in a positive way. You can ask, why is this here now? What do I have to learn from this situation, this circumstance, this manifestation that is clearly what I do not prefer? And as we have said, if nothing else, you can use what you don't prefer to clarify, by contrast, what you do prefer, which is a positive way to use something you don't prefer that's manifested. And as soon as you use it up and learn the lesson it brought you, then it will vanish because it has served its purpose. So the idea, again, is insisting that that is not something that belongs in your life, is an invalidation of the unfolding of your life, an invalidation of what is necessary for you to look at, invalidation of the lesson that's in that situation for you to move forward in your life, to grow as a soul, to allow yourself to open up to the idea that anything can be used to further your path if you stay in a positive state and allow it to flow naturally to you through synchronicity. Trusting what happens in front of you is the most important thing that needs to happen at that moment. And by acting on your passion and by being willing to stay in that positive state, then you automatically persist. Keep choosing in the direction of your passion, of your excitement, of your creativity, of your joy, of your love, because that is built in to the idea of your passion. The idea is that passion does not require discipline per se, because the idea is that if you are really passionate and excited about doing something, then there is really no other choice for you. You will automatically choose that first above and beyond any other choice. And therefore, the persistence, the willingness to continue to take action in that direction, in other words, comes automatically because there simply doesn't seem to be any other choice that makes sense, that's logical for you to pursue. So persistence is something that's built in, comes automatically with your passion. And insistence is something that you have to push against, something you have to force, something that your ego says should be what should happen, but your inner being knows is not necessarily what is true for you. And yet there is fear in that, fear that something won't happen, fear that your life will not unfold in the way that works for you. So learn to discern the difference. Learn the difference between true excitement and anxiety, because insistence is usually the product of anxiety, whereas excitement will automatically bring you the persistence you need to continue to act on your passion and your joy throughout your entire life. That is the fundamental difference between the two energies.